We used the floor of Parliament to expose this government on multiple counts: economic blockade of states, murdering federalism, weakening institutions like Parliament, CB, EDI, SEBI, the price rises, unemployment, the lack of communal harmony, and of course, scams of huge proportions that need to be inquired, sir. The immediate inquiry of the big scam, which is currently creating much furor, can happen in two different ways. Firstly, by a JPC, as many are suggesting. But madam, I understand the weak nerve of the government. All the previous governments who had constituted JPCs have not come back. Maybe on that count, they are afraid they might not. On the second part, of course, we could have a Supreme Court monitored committee to conduct this inquiry in a time-bound manner. So we demand the second, of course, if the first one is touching the weak nerve of the government. It was said in the address of Mahamaya Rashtrapati ji, and I quote, "Today India has a government which is committed to removing every obstacle faced by women," unquote. Madam, crimes against women in India have increased by 15%. India registered 32,000 rape cases in 2021. Sadly, that is 86 cases of rape per day. I would like to remind this august house that Kolkata is the least crime-prone metropolitan city as per the latest NCRB records. Women's safety in Kolkata should be emulated by the rest of the country. Another statement in the address is, and I quote, "The digital network that India has built is source of inspiration even for developed countries." Madam, I would like to showcase the digital service delivery achieved by Bengal. The Bengal government recently received the Platinum Award from the Honorable President at the Digital India Awards for its flagship scheme called Duare Sarkar, which literally means the government at your doorsteps. This was for excellence in design and implementation of a public digital platform. The initiative by the Mamata Banerjee government has widespread coverage. Duare Sarkar camps help people all over the state to get government services and accesses to various social welfare schemes, including the United Nations award-winning Kanyashri Prakalpo and the Students' Credit Card. In the address, Rashtrapati ji had said, "From education to their career, my government is trying to remove all obstacles for daughters." Madam, I would like to say in this regard, the union government can take inspiration from the government of Bengal when it comes to education, especially for girls, and implement effective schemes like, as I said, the Kanyashri, that is a famous, even award-winning scheme, the Shobut Shati, and so on. The Kanyashri scheme has benefited 78 lakh girl children in Bengal, and the Shobut Shati has provided cycles to more than 1 crore students in Bengal. In the address, there was nothing mentioned about youth employment, unemployment that is. Let me tell you all about the Juboshi scheme in Bengal. Under this scheme, 8 lakh youths have been registered to receive financial assistance. And further, the address said, and I quote, "My government has awakened the aspirations of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes," unquote. At the top 5 IITs and Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, I would like to bring to the notice of the August House, 98% of professors and more than 90% of assistant and associate professors, they are from the privileged castes. In violation of the constitutional reservation mandates, in faculty position of 7.5% for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and 15% for scheduled castes. That is what is the real picture. Madam, also, when it comes to the matter of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, the government at a center could take a leaf out of the success diary of the Bengal government. I would like to mention there are multiple schemes for the benefit of SCs and STs and OBCs. About 8 lakh students from economically backward sections have received scholarships under the Swami Vivekananda Merit Cum Means scholarship program of the government. It was also another thing is that we have a Joy Bangla pension scheme in place. It is an umbrella of two schemes, Toposhili Bondhu and Joy Johar, where elderly senior citizens of these communities, they receive monthly pensions. Further, in a speech, Rashtrapati ji had said, the long-felt urge to be rid of scourge of mega scams and corruption in government schemes is now being realized. Is it true, madam? Let me tell you one example. In Meghalaya, the practice of coal mining was banned in 2014, but transportation was permitted till 2017. And further extensions were granted by the Supreme Court. They were also misused. Illegally mined coal is taken out of the state and then returned to Meghalaya with false documentation of coal originating in other states. Last December, re-verification of extracted coal before the ban on illegal mining of coal revealed that there are over 19 lakh metric tons of coal and not over 32 lakh metric tons of coal as stated by the government. In 2018, activists Agnes Kharsing and Amita Sangma faced a near fatal attack while they were on their back after lodging a complaint on illegal mining. It has been 5 years since, but where is the justice? I would also further like to mention, coming to the given situation, geopolitical situation, we know the 25% of current import of petroleum, that is the Russian crude, this comes at a very lower price, about average $48 to $52 per barrel. But when the prices rose to over 100 rupees of petrol, the international prices of crude per barrel were more than 120 US dollars. Currently, 25% of the import is of $40 to $52 per barrel. But how is this advantage, how is the benefit of this percolating to the poor? We only can say sabka saath, sabka vikas, but it should not remain as a jumla. If you want to have sabka Biswas also and sabka prayas, this benefit should percolate down to the people, as bringing down the oil prices will have ripple effect. It will bring down the prices of other commodities that are coming up due to transportation, and definitely the people at the lowest rung of society who are suffering from high price races will have the benefit. So things should not just remain as statements, that is jumla. Things should reflect in ground. We can have many things said, but one thing delivered will be much more than many things said. And I would like to conclude by saying that I would thank the Mahamaim Rashtrapati ji for her address. Having said that, inequality in gender, caste and class is far from becoming reality and needs to be our focus in all policies. The issues of people on the margins require urgent intervention by the government. I conclude by re-emphasizing our demand for an immediate Supreme Court inquiry into what could be the world's biggest scam. Thank you, madam.
Message from Lok Sabha Secretary General.